If it was like proven that he cheated, yeah, I mean, we would have issues, there would definitely be something done with Mo. He says it didn't happen. There's nobody that can show me that it happened. It has been funny to hear like, oh, good girls, like that's copying XYZ. And I'm like, no, like this has been us since day one.
The original GGG is Good Golf.
The LLC of Good is Good Golf LLC. Like that is GGG. Publicly, everyone's like, oh, they took the GGG name. I'm like, we've literally been GGG since day one. Feels like some other people have taken GGG and used it. We have another announcement coming around the event. Hopefully around the first of the year, we can announce.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a huge interview lined up for you today on the Scratch Golf Show. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Marco and I'm your host. Here on the Scratch Golf Show, we discuss all things golf, YouTube, and professional news, interviews, and discussion topics. And today we have Good CEO Matt Kendrick joins me for about 50 minutes. We discuss the Good Girls announcement, some fallout around the GGG name, Malosi, SlopeGate. Matt breaks some news. I get some scoops. We talk Good Championship, big break. There's so much in this interview. Make sure you stick around to the end. Before we get into it, I need one favor from you. Smash that subscribe button below, please. I'm trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by 2026. Not far away. I need your help to do so. Hit that button, please. It's free. I've done my best to label the timestamps in the below if you guys want to scroll around for the different topics in this interview. Like and comment your thoughts. Anyway, let's get today's interview with Matt Kendrick. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Scratch Golf Show. We have a huge guest for you today. We have the CEO of Good Golf, Matt Kendrick. Matt, thank you for taking the time today and welcome to the Scratch Golf Show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Absolutely. I know we just were talking a bit offline, but how was the holiday break? What'd you do? Did you spend some time with the family, travels? How was that for the Thanksgiving for you guys over in Texas?
Yeah, I spent time with my parents up in Oklahoma. I'm from Oklahoma City originally, so me and the wife and kids were up there for the week. I'm also a massive Thunder fan, so I went to a few Thunder games while I was up there. So it was a good holiday for me.
Nice. Yeah, I remember seeing your stories last year when they won the championship game. I feel like you were at every finals game, which is super cool to see. And I guess, I've actually never been to Oklahoma, ironically enough. But here in Detroit, I'm a big sports fan, so I can appreciate you getting the time. I'm going to a Lions game to a couple days. They're playing the Cowboys, ironically enough. I don't know if you're a big Cowboys fan or not, but I know I've been talking with Brad about trying to get a wager going for the game, about giving away some good merch potentially. So
I've been inherited as a Cowboys fan since I moved to Dallas 8 years ago or so. So yeah, I've been through it recently with them for sure.
For sure. Cool. Well, I guess to start, obviously I know who you are, but for the fans who maybe don't know, or the viewers here of the Scratch Golf Show, do you mind just doing a brief introduction? Because I know you've had a lot of success outside of Good. Ironically enough, I know I would say most well known for being the CEO of Good. But I was stalking your LinkedIn page prepping for this interview, and every title or experience you had was CEO, founder, going back to 2010. So I guess, do you mind to give an intro to yourself,
Yeah.
and then talk about a little bit, like a 2 to 3 minute prior to being the CEO of Good, because we're going to get into all that in a few minutes.
Yeah. I guess the quick title for me is co-founder and CEO of Good. So started it with the guys back in 2020. But as far as just background goes, I mean, I've been in the influencer space in the YouTube space for well over a decade now. But my main background, way back, you're talking. I mean, I'm dating myself. I'm pretty old, I guess, but 2008, I was doing video production as full-time job like that. I had client business doing work for. I was doing a lot of work for athletic programs at universities, helping them with recruiting content and things like that. And then through that, just over time, the YouTube space started popping up and the creator world started happening. And so I started taking a lot of interest in what was happening there, and then started getting plugged in with a few creators and started helping them with production. And through that, just started realizing there was more opportunity as well, just in the space to build businesses around it. And so started a fishing company with a group of YouTubers called Guggen Squad. And then we built that into one of the biggest fishing brands in the industry, and then exited out of that and then started Good with the guys back in 2020. So definitely I've been around video production and then also in the YouTuber space for quite some time.
That's awesome. I don't think I'm sure a lot of people who are maybe more plugged in, or like I guess the sicko would probably be a better term, like know your background, like myself, know you've done Guggen Squad, which is super cool to see that like you've had success now doing it for well over a decade, and obviously doing it with Good. I mean, you guys have just really changed the game over the last, I mean, year, but the last month you guys have gotten into a ton of stuff, which we're going to get to, the Good Championship, Good Girls, all that. But I want to start with your role as CEO, because I, for one, am curious, and I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but like, what does your day to day, week to week look like as CEO running a multi-million dollar golf brand? And how much has it changed over the years, going back to like the early days when you guys were just starting Good Golf back in 2020?
Yeah, I think, one piece is like I've been an entrepreneur for like basically since I can remember. So, I mean, CEO, I think takes a lot of different forms and like where a company is, and so like CEO today definitely looks different than what CEO did when we were, just starting in 2020. So like today, I mean, a lot of what I mean, I would say I really don't have like a super regular schedule. Like there's a lot of different things I can be doing every day. It just depends on what we got going on. But like we have 40 plus employees at this point. So a lot of my time spent on helping like resource the teams and help make sure that we have the team set up for what they need for growth as we look into 26 and into 27, and how do we keep growing this thing, not just from a content perspective, but from like an actual golf business perspective as well. So I spend a lot of my time there and working with the teams, and then also just business development in general. Like, what's the next thing we're going to do? All these things like the Good Championship or the Big Break or anything that you see us doing, like that takes like months and months of work and networking and figuring out who your partners are going to be, and all that stuff takes a lot of time and energy. And so that's where I probably spend most of my time at this point, is like what are we doing next, is where I spend a lot of time.
And obviously, I don't think people actually realize like that you guys are like a full scale, I mean, business. Like you said, you guys obviously have over 40 employees running a lot of the apparel stuff. You have the entire warehouse in Dallas where you guys are headquartered. Like, obviously, I know Jeff, and there's so many other people, like even Bailey getting this schedule. Like, there's so many people behind the scenes who I don't think people realize to make this whole good empire go. And it's truly crazy what it's become from like you guys, way back in the day, 2020, to now it being just a full scale golf brand. I know you've talked about on other interviews and other podcasts you've done that like you don't want Good to just be a golf YouTube channel or a golf like apparel company. You want it to be a life lasting top golf brand in the space. And I think you guys are well on the way to doing so with all the stuff you guys have done. I guess let's just start with the most recent announcement. Good Girls is the most recent thing and launch you guys have done, bringing in Alexis, Uni, Hadley, and Marissa to start an all-female channel. I guess keep it pretty open-ended. Do you want to talk just a little bit about behind the scenes, what went into that, and just how excited you guys are for an all-female channel?
Yeah, I mean, first off, extremely excited about it. Like, we think that those four are just like tremendous. I think that they're all great girls, and I think that they're going to be great for the game of golf and for women in the game of golf. And so, can't wait to see how that goes. In fact, I'm going to be. We're all playing together this week in the Grass League. I don't know if you know much about the
Yeah,
Grass League,
yep.
um, Alexis and Marissa are a team, and then Uni and Hadley are caddying for both of them. So we're all going to be out there, and I'm playing as well with a few other people on our team. But we're going to be filming that, so I'm excited to watch. That'll be the first time I've seen them in person filming. I mean, I've seen them, but like it'll be interesting to see like them work together in person. And so with the women's side, like it was good, like even from the start, like we knew that at some point we need to figure out how do we get into the women market. And it's just like with the same way that we looked at good from I guess from the guys side, is like you look at it as like making sure you just have the right team in place, and I think that you just got to be patient, and that's what we were. And I think when we met Alexis and Marissa, that's who I met first, and I think that it just felt right. Like, I don't know how to explain it other than like you just know that this is the right moment to start it, and they were the right team. So started from there, and then added Uni and Hadley, and then launched. And so yeah, I mean, we're extremely excited about it, and I think that thing just has endless upside to it.
Yeah, absolutely. The Grass League is awesome. I had Todd on. I think you know Todd from
Oh
the
yeah,
Grass
yeah.
League, and I had him
I
on
got a
earlier
bone to
this
pick with
year.
Todd when I get there this week. So he's been
Yeah,
talking a lot of trash about the horseman.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm excited. I love not to get too far off topic, but I love the what they have going on out there. I went out there for the live event last February. I'm going out again in Arizona, so I'm sure I'll see you there. But I played the golf course for a bachelor party in September. It is awesome. Like night golf, what they're going on out there, what they have going on at the grass league is super cool. And I like that's just awesome what they're doing out there. But getting back to the girls, yeah, I mean, the female obviously creator space has been blowing up. We've seen other channels, and other female creators really take off. And I mean, you guys have had so much success. They could hit like 100,000 subscribers in like a day and a half, which
Yeah.
is crazy. Because like I remember I took a screenshot, like I was like subscriber like 30 because I'm sure you saw, but I broke the story a couple days
Yes.
before. Yeah, and that was like it's crazy to see what you guys have had. And so a follow up question I had because obviously there are other channels with the I guess GGG acronym, but I put out a short form video and you commented on the original GGG is good golf in my opinion, and obviously there have been other channels who have done the GGG thing, but there was some I don't want to say uproar or just talk about that whole acronym. So I just want to give you the chance to at least talk about that and maybe address it if you'd be willing to about like I said because I agree with you. The original GGG is good golf. Like that was the
Yeah.
whole thing prior to everything.
Yeah. I mean, if you just want to look at it from the LLC of Good is Good Golf LLC. Like that is GGG. It has been for. I mean, we've never put it out there as like GGG. It is funny because internally, like we do anytime like in documents or anything like that, we do reference Good as GGG. Like itself is GGG. So it is funny whenever like publicly everyone's like, oh, they took the GGG name. I'm like, we've literally been GGG since day one. Like if anything, it feels like some other people have taken GGG and used it, which is fine. No issues there. But it has been funny to hear like, oh, good girls, like that's copying XYZ, and I'm like, no, like this has been us since day one.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And like I said, this is me, my opinion personally, not putting words in your mouth. But like you said, there are other, I guess, channels or people who have done the GGG thing, and I would guess to say that there was a reason why they did GGG, and putting two and
Yeah,
two together, right? I mean, just one plus one equals two in my mind. So I
yeah,
agree with you personally. I think it Matt, in a world where people just like to overreact and complain, I think that's kind of where that is. But I appreciate your guys' stance and you at least being willing to talk about it and address it. And like I said, good girls is awesome. I'm excited for the future, like you mentioned. That thing is I think is going to take off. And Alexis and Marissa are awesome. I'm excited to hopefully get them on soon at some point in Hadley and Uni as well, which be super cool. I want to talk about one thing that a recent, I guess, scandal was appropriate term, and you can see the sign over my shoulder here. But the Malosi slope situation, the Internet Invitational, like that was
okay.
crazy. Like the Internet
Mhm.
Invitational, like even like former good member Quan got it, and then Paige. Like from your perspective as CEO, like how did you view that situation? Because the Internet was like he should be fired, like all this, like Malosi obviously, but like what was your opinion on the situation? I guess just you want to just talk about it from your perspective as CEO of the business.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I will say that the stance of Good is like we do not condone cheating in any way, shape, or like anybody. Like if and in fact, I actually sent a email to everybody and said, listen, we're not, this isn't us. Like, no matter what, like, we will do whatever we can to make sure we're upholding the rules to the best of our ability in everything we do, because we know people just get irrationally out of control about things on YouTube golf for some reason, even though it's not even like a sanctioned sport. Like, in like, there's no league. Now, this was different. They are playing for $1 million. I think part of this too is like, it is a bit of the Barstool thing, like Dave Portnoy's thing of like, let's create drama at every turn, which they've done, and that's great, and they've capitalized on it, and it's been good for their brand. And listen, I understand it. Uh, I don't have a comment. Like, first off, I wasn't there, so I have no idea what was going on. The very first time I ever saw it was when everybody else saw it, and I didn't even like watch. Like, I watched it, but I have not kept up with it like a ton since. All I could say was like, where there's been no like physical proof that he did it, and like in the game of golf, like, I mean, it is pretty. I mean, integrity is number one thing. So like, you gotta like, if you gotta call yourself on it if you did it, and he said he didn't do it. So I like, there's nothing I can say like this is absolutely, definitive evidence that the slope was on. So I, I have nothing to say other than like I have to take him at his word on it. So
Right. And I feel like that was my stance as well. Like I did a whole like investigation on it. Like Internet Invitational content was great for my channel. I had my best month last month, just doing like recaps and stuff. It's crazy, but like that was my stance. Like there was no definitive like proof, and if there was, like I'd be the first one to say it. Like, you know, Mo, like you lied, but like you put your hand to God and say it. Like he's now like tripled, quadrupled down. Obviously, did the Good podcast last week. Like you just, at some point you just got to take a guy for his word in the world of golf where it's like integrity is important. And I know like people have said, like I think Whitney said, Malosi's fast and loose with the rules. Like it's different. And I said like it's different in a good video versus $1 million tournament. And I know Dave has kind of, and that's the whole the Barstool thing is a whole different thing because this was a Barstool event. Like people outside of the Barstool world don't really understand Barstool. So I guess a follow-up question had like, what's your thoughts or I guess opinion on the what this does for Malosi or Good's brand? Like I'm a firm believer in no press is bad press. Like I'm sure more eyes is good for Quan. Eventually it blew over, obviously for Mo as well. Like what's your thoughts on like what this has done for Mo or just like Good as a whole, like on the whole like reaction or I guess press side of things?
to be honest, like it's not. I mean, yes, it's gotten a lot of exposure for. I mean, Mo's gotten a lot of exposure. I think he's done a pretty good job of just taking it in stride. And like from our stance, like it doesn't. To me, it's not like if it was like proven that he cheated. Yeah, I mean, we would have issues like, and there would definitely be something done with Mo if that was the case. But you know, for us, it's like, listen, I'm not going to leave my guy out to dry. If like this, he says it didn't happen. There's nobody that can show me that it happened, and there's video cameras everywhere. Like, what am I supposed to? What am I supposed to do about it? Like, that seems wrong to me. Like, if and this is not to go into another piece where I think the bigger issue was if you want to talk about rules in the Internet Invitational, and this doesn't this does involve Mo. So the part where they were talking about Paige, stomping the grass down around the ball, you've got three people on that team all playing alternate shot, including Frankie. So you've got Frankie, Mo, and Paige, and they all sat there and watched that happen, and then hit the ball and played the hole. Now they lost the hole, I believe, either way, right? I think they
Yeah.
lost that hole, so
Yeah.
it didn't affect the outcome. But at the same time, and no one stood there and said, well, somebody called them out on the rules, but that like only wanted to go after Paige on it. But I'm like, well, the entire team was sitting there doing the same thing. Like they knew what was going on. I think that's the biggest rules infraction in the entire situation. I'm not saying that's against Paige. I'm just saying as a whole team, like it just seemed like no one really paid attention to what was going on in that rules infraction.
I think given how it happened, it was all like bang, bang, bang. Like I think a lot of the flack or like I don't want to say hate, but like drama was on more focused on Mo than Paige because they did lose the hole. And because it was right after, I felt like Mo got more of the and I even said like more people are like in a video, like before it all happened, or not before, like the day after it happened, like more people are gonna talk about Mo than Paige, which in my opinion was wrong. So I agree with you that like that whole thing, and she's even addressed it now, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because I don't want to spend time talking
I'm
about
not,
the whole
and I'm
Paige
trying
thing.
to say it's not all on Page. Like I don't
Yeah,
think it's
yeah,
all on Page. I think that's a whole team. And if
right.
you don't know the rule, that's a different story. But
And
yeah, I
and
mean that was like blatant rule breaking. But
and
doesn't
I
matter.
think that goes back to like the whole like Barstool thing. Like it's a Barstool event. Like what rules are actually in play? Like what rules are in play? What rules aren't? Like it's not a sanctioned event in my opinion. But no, I agree with kind of with what you're saying. Anyway, let's transition away from the Internet Invitational. I want to focus on something that has dropped this week. Obviously the Good podcast has dropped, and you guys have done a bunch of banger episodes since it's dropped with Grant, Brad, and Mo. But Grant dropped yesterday, and him and Garrett had talked about doing a reunion week with the old OG Good crew, Micah, Grant, and the OG six. I guess, is there anything you can talk about or share about that? And then a follow up would be, can you touch on a little bit now about your relationship with some of the OG or I guess older good guys who are no longer with the company, given like this is the first time that it's been publicly discussed since the whole split in way back when?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like reunion stuff, like I don't. That's on. I let Garrett and Logan and that team run with it. So, if they've got that in the works, like I think that's great. I think it'd be great to have those guys back. I mean, all of them were a great part of the history of Good, and Micah was here when we started it, and Grant coming along after we've been going, and like I think was great for Grant and his career too, and I'm glad we were a great part of it. So I mean, I'm all for it if we can figure it out. I haven't actually seen the pod. It just was yesterday that it dropped, so I have not had a chance to watch it. I did watch like a couple pieces that got sent to me, but I have not had a chance to go all the way through it. But yeah, I think it would be good. And as far as like relationships go, I mean, I think everybody at some, it hurts when you lose somebody, and these guys lost a great friend, and Garrett is Micah's cousin, so I think that was a whole different dynamic. And so like anytime somebody comes and goes, it's tough. But I think at this point, like everything's water in the bridge from all sides, and everybody wishes everybody the best of luck, and I think that we all see that the better everyone else does, everybody else also benefits from it. So yeah, I don't, as far as like, are we talk like, do we call and talk to Mike and Grant every day? Like, I don't, but like, I mean, I think some of the guys on the team all talk pretty regularly. And so I think it's great.
Yeah, and let's just take a second to talk about like I don't know how much I mean, I'm sure back in the day you had like more of a say into like who's being brought on, but like you guys have like nailed a lot of these hires per se, or like people you've brought on. Like Quan obviously doing really well. I've obviously no longer with, but Grant, Micah, now Brad, Sean, Alexis, Marissa, even like being a Michigan guy, like I love Johnny and Ashton. They're great. Like you guys have really nailed the expansions or that and the rosters that you guys have brought. You guys have brought in like I mean, Brad, as you've seen, is just, and Brad and Sean have just taken off. They had the Brian Bros match that dropped today, which has been highly anticipated. Like, just take a second to shout out. Like, you guys have really brought on a lot of good people, and I don't want to say kickstarted a lot of people's careers, but you guys have nailed your hires, and you guys have an eye for talent. So that's a shout out to testament to you guys, I think.
Well, I appreciate it. I think a lot of that goes to even just looking at the guys we have today. I think that everyone's really good about lifting each other up and being able to like be good teammates. And I think that that's a big piece of this. And that's one thing that, at Good, like we want to strive to be, is like, this isn't about one person, it's about a team. And to do that, everyone's got to work together. And so I think that our guys are good examples of being good teammates. And I think that helps everybody that comes in.
For sure. Let's transition and talk about, I mean, something that happened, what feels like, at least for me, a different life ago. And I'd be curious to hear your opinion, but you guys bought a PGA Tour event. Like, you are literally the title sponsor of a PGA Tour event, the Good Championship, coming in the fall of 26 at I think it's the Canyons course in the Omni Resort. And I apologize, I'm sure. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Like, how crazy is that? Because like, from someone who understands and loves, and I guess talks about the pro golf side a lot on this channel as well, other than the, not just the YouTube side, like that's a huge deal. And like, you can't just like go to the store and buy a PGA Tour event. And like, even if it's a fall event, like that's still, I mean, I imagine you guys are putting up millions of dollars to do this. And it's insane of what I guess, do you mind just talking and sharing about how it came to be and like how you guys became the title sponsor of a PGA Tour event? Cause it's just so crazy.
Yeah. I think one thing that I don't know if anyone knows, but what's unique too about it is we're also the host. So we're not only the title sponsor, we are also the host, which means we actually run the event, which is unique. And so, and we wanted it to be like, we would never have done the deal if it was just us being just a title and somebody else is running it, because then they might have our name and that's great, but fans are not going to get the experience of us actually running that golf tournament. So we made sure that we were both the title and the host in that. And so, and also full transparency on it too, like we didn't get a deal. Like the tour did not give us a discount. Like we paid full rate, like what it cost to operate and own a tour event. Like we are fully strapped with it. Like we're not getting a deal because we're good. So, this is a big investment for us. And this is something that we think is very important to the growth of the brand. And like looking at it, how do we continue to grow audiences that aren't watching YouTube golf, or how do we continue to build the brand in a way that brings more validity to Good as a golf brand as a whole, and understand like we're really truly trying to affect the game in a great way, and not just, it's not, I guess if some people look at us as a hype brand or somebody that's not traditional golf, like we really want the world to know like we're serious about the game, and like we're going to put out great products, we're going to put on great events, we're going to put out great content, and that's who we want to be and be known as. So as far as like what it took to, I mean, you could probably make a whole documentary on the whole
Yeah,
thing of
I bet.
what it took to get to it. I mean, I would say it was years in the making. It was a couple years ago having the idea of like what happened, what would it look like if we owned our own tour event. What could we do, and could we ever get to that point? I think our first step into like the professional golf space was with professional golfers when we got in and we signed Joel Damon, Bo Hostler, John Pock, and I think that was dipping our toes in the professional water. But then I think us taking the bigger step of like, let's go run a tour event and let's make it ours. And like, how do we make it a stop on tour that everyone wants to play at, but also everyone wants to attend? Like, how do we become the next Waste Management? Not necessarily from like Waste Management has its own culture of what they've got in their atmosphere, but how do we do something that people look at it and go, that's a unique event. That's the one I want to go to and be a part of. And so that's what we set out to do. And I think it's a huge thanks to Dan Sullivan at H&S Sports. He runs the memorial, and he was a huge help in putting this together. And they're going to be managing the tournament with us. And then also the team at Golf Channel. So Tom Knapp and Glenn Grimshaw were huge in helping us navigate the waters with the tour. And then also WME, Davis Holman, who works with us at WME. I mean, that whole trio of people really, really helped get this over the finish line. It was a lot of work, and it was a lot of negotiating, but we got there. So we're excited. We're ready to get running on it. We don't, and the funny thing is, like, we keep looking at it as like, oh, it's November next year, but like we look at it as like we don't have much time to like put something really great together in like year one. So luckily, we've got a great team behind us, and I think we're going to put something great together come November.
Yeah, it'll be around the corner. It'll be here before you know it, and it's just a huge testament to you guys. Like it's crazy. I believe it's a 3-year agreement, and like you said, it is not like because I watch and understand a lot of the professional golf side of stuff. Like it's not easy to like just like you can't just buy a PGA Tour event at the corner store. Like this obviously took a lot of work, and like I guess when you're in the business I'm in, which is like a fake insider of like breaking news, like I didn't hear a peep about this. Like I've broke a few stories, but like I think that's more of a testament that like how much work went in. And like there was no leak. Like I had never heard, and I don't know if anyone else had heard. So testament to you guys for keeping it under wraps because it is a huge accomplishment. Do you mind? I guess do you know what? And it's cool that you guys are hosting because obviously Tiger has his own tournament. Davis Love does the RSM, but like. Do you have an idea, or I guess, can you share what you guys are going to do with the event to kind of bring that YouTube golf feel to it?
Well, I can't yet. We have another announcement coming around the event that actually will make a whole lot of sense in how we really want to try to shape this in a unique YouTube angle. So hopefully by around the first year we can announce what we think is going to be a big piece of going in, what's coming into that tournament.
Sweet. I'll be looking forward for it. That's awesome. And it'll be cool. And like, you guys are just changing the game. And like, I think it's just like you guys, it's really crazy. You guys have done the Callaway deal, obviously been involved with the Memorial. You had the Champions Tour thing. You guys have your own PGA Tour event now. Good girl. Like it's been an insane run these last 2 years of what you guys have done for the brand. And I don't think people realize how much work and like legwork it goes behind the scenes from what you guys are doing from the exec side. So congratulations. I have a question around, because you had touched on signing the PGA Tour players, Joel Damon, John Pock, Bo Hostler, and Michael Block. Have you, or I guess, thought or an idea around getting LPGA Tour players involved, or like getting involved with the LPGA Tour at all from the female side?
Yeah, now especially now that we're into Good Girls, I think that the biggest probably piece that was just been holding us back from the LPGA Tour is just like product in general. We don't have enough product to support a tour player currently, but I mean we're working towards that. It just takes time to build it up, but we have sponsored different caddies on the LPGA Tour. So like Minji Lee's caddy wore a good hat. So we definitely think it's important to be involved, and I'm friends with Craig Kessler, the new commissioner of the LPGA Tour. So we've talked about how do we get more involved on that front. So I would say like be on the lookout. Like we'll definitely be doing more with the LPGA Tour for sure. From a player perspective, like we still need to build up our product catalog for them in order to support a tour player the right way. But we're definitely working towards it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, good to hear. And I have a question, just kind of a follow-up from the Good Good Championship. I don't think you've talked about it publicly since the $45 million investment that came down earlier this year. I guess how big of a role did that play in getting this PGA Tour event involved? Like, was that a lot of the capital go to that? I guess what did that look like, or what did that investment done for Good Good?
I think we look at that capital more in, um, I guess, like I would say, like in M&A than we would look at it for the tour. Like I would say we did not allocate dollars from that to specifically to this. Like we would have done this tour event without it. But I think it definitely helps having that there. But we look at that use of capital for some other things. But the tour event, we were already going down the path prior to the deal that we did earlier this year.
Okay, cool. I mean, it's just like I said, more testament to the success. And I even forgot TGL, which is another crazy. You guys are
Yeah, well, yeah.
involved in TGL.
Yeah, the investments that we've done lately is we've gone into TGL, so we've invested in the LAGC team. We own a grass league team,
Yeah, Grass League.
which was really cool to see. They just sold another franchise this week for $1 million, which was good to see the growth that we're seeing in grass league. And then we invested in the tour event, and so we're trying to find ways to make sure that our brand is covering a lot of places in the golf space.
Speaking of covering a lot of spaces and announcements that was made the same week as the Good Good Championship, big break. As someone, I'm 31, so I grew up, and like I said, I love pro golf. Since I used to watch Big Break with my dad, like in my living room as a kid. So this is like one of my favorite shows. I guess talk a little bit about Big Break and bringing that back. And I think you had posted on your LinkedIn about like bringing new viewers into the YouTube golf world. Like, how cool is it having Big Break, Good Good edition? Just more things you guys are doing in the space.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching Big Break too, so like very nostalgic for me. And when we very first started talking to Golf Channel, um, it had to have been almost 4 years ago now, 3 or 4 years ago now, probably 4 years ago. The very first thing I ever came to them with was we wanted to bring back the Big Break. Like we thought that would be like a perfect combination of us starting to work with a more traditional golf media play like NBC, and they had it shelved for almost a decade at that point, and they were like, well, let's talk about. They kind of said, let's talk about something. We can talk about it, but what else do you have? And that's when we started talking to them about. We started working with them on the live events that we've done, and so that's where that all started. And as we started working together and built a great relationship, the trust was there to say like, okay, maybe Good is the right partner to bring this back, and we felt good about it. And at that same time, it was always like, well, we need that nice carrot at the end of Big Break for the winner. And we were like, well, this lines up perfectly. If we can go get our tour event, we now have exemption spots to give to a Big Break winner. And so it really all just timed up. And this is why I was saying Golf Channel NBC was very vital also in helping us get this tour event across the finish line, because they were also helping push us to get it done, so that we had the Big Break. It's capped off with somebody being able to play in a tour event the next week. Because the way that it's going to work is they're going to start releasing episodes, I think, in August of next year. But the week prior to the Good Championship will be the finale. So, and then that player is going to end up playing the next week.
Hopefully it's Sean or Brad.
Hopefully it's Sean or Brad.
Yeah, and you guys have everyone involved. Obviously, I think Sharp's hosting, which I had him on right after that, and I had Brad on since then. I told them the same thing I'll tell you. I don't know if the Golf Channel or NBC executives know what they're doing, giving that man a microphone for TV. I just don't think they're
Well,
knowing.
luckily we have Blair O'Neill there to maybe help him, guide him the right way.
Tone it down a little. I don't know. I've heard you say it on other interviews. I think you did on Mr. Short Games earlier this year. You said like you love Sharp being himself, which I mean, Sharp is Sharp. Like there's only one Matt Sharp in this world, but it'll be cool having Garrett, Bubby be captains, Sean and Brad obviously playing. Like I hope one of those guys get in. Obviously pulling for Brad, given how good he's doing. Hope he gets a sponsor exemption, knock on wood, before then, because that'd be really cool. I guess, can you talk about any of the details? Like, when is it going to start being filmed? Like, who's picking the actual contestants? Do you have any say in that, other than Sean and Brad and the people you have already?
I don't think I'm allowed to announce anything yet. This is
Okay.
not. This is.
No
I
worries.
think I would have to start getting things cleared from NBC from Golf Channel on something like that. So I don't even know if. Do you know where it's being filmed?
Yeah, Horseshoe Bay, right? I
Okay,
think
I didn't know if
that was
we've
public
announced
information.
it
Yeah,
yet.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So Horseshoe Bay is where it's going to be filmed. Looking to film in the spring, and then we do have. I mean, we do have a list of people that we're going through and vetting. And I think there's going to be a few that you definitely might know, and then there's also some that are going to be just really, really good players that we think should get an opportunity at something like this.
Sweet. Heck yeah, I'll look forward for the announcements. Do you, this is more of a follow up around the tour event and kind of running it. Do you feel like your experience and you guys doing these live events and having so much success with like the Desert Open, the Midwest Open, and the one in Chicago? I mean, I've been to like three. I mean, they're really cool and highly recommend if you haven't gone to a good live event in person to go check it out because they're awesome and they're much more, at least from my perspective, from a fan perspective, chilled than an actual golf event. But do you feel like your experience and the success running those is going to give you guys a better idea or at least help when you're doing the PGA Tour event?
Um, I don't think they're really the same because I think when you look at the PGA Tour event and then what we're doing with our live events, I think our live events are really more geared towards first off, like we want to be entertaining in a live setting, but also it gives a chance to like people come see us in person. I think that's really important to be able to connect with fans in person. I know that like it's a different look and feel for a viewer because they're so used to watching a YouTube video, but at the same time, like it's more than just about the broadcast. Like we want to be able to come and fans to come and meet us. We want to meet the fans. And so it's very important to have that interaction. Whereas like, PGA Tour events, you're watching the best players in the world compete. And it's all about the competition, which is great. So I think the way that we look at how do we affect a tour event is everything that happens outside of that competition. Like what is an experience like when you walk into the tour event and or maybe what's happening even off site. I mean, what are the things that we're doing outside of the site? What are we doing like in the city of Austin at night? Is there stuff that we can connect with fans in different ways? Like we want it to be just a great fan experience, but at the end of the day, like we don't want to affect great competition. And so I think it's just two different mindsets of how these things, and I think that's also where people get confused, like YouTube golf versus PGA Tour, like which is better? It's like they're both great. Like
Different.
they're not the
Yeah.
same, and they're not really. To me, it's not competition. It's like we should be additive to the game of golf. We should be a place that people can come and experience golf in a different way. But you can watch the best players in the world every single weekend in a very traditional golf format. And so I think that they're not competition. They should be lifting the game of golf together.
I agree, and I like I said, highly recommend checking out a good live event in person. It would be my third one in Arizona. That one is so much fun. Like even my wife, who is not a golfer, not a huge golf. I would say she's a golf fan. She supports the channel here, but even she came with me last year, and like we were obviously outside the ropes for that one. She was like, "This is crazy. Like there's this many," and I think she finally understood like this is what YouTube golf is. Like there's so many fans, and like even walking around like cities or like I was at a trade show, the Michigan Golf Show earlier this spring, like seeing all the good hats. It's really crazy. Like what you guys have done. Like I said, the live events are really awesome. Highly recommend checking them out if you haven't. I want to talk about something you had just kind of mentioned and the state of golf as a whole. I think you had mentioned in Mr. Short Games podcast that you did earlier this year that like you don't feel like you guys are relatively in the middle, but since then, obviously you've done the PGA Tour event. Do you feel like Good has almost aligned itself with the PGA Tour, not versus the live thing now that you guys have done the PGA Tour event?
No, I mean, I don't look at it that way at all. I mean, we want to support golf everywhere, but I would say like it's just worked out that we are working with the PGA Tour. And to be honest, like if we're gonna go own a tour, a golf professional golf event, like the PGA Tour is the number one, like from
Right.
viewership and I think players as well. But like we haven't, look, I mean, we just released a video with Sergio Garcia. It's not like we are against live either. It's like we want to support the game of golf everywhere. It's not to me ever live versus PGA Tour. I think we've had more opportunities with the PGA Tour, so I think that's helped.
Yeah, and I think everything has to be additive. Like you said, it's not live versus I guess it is live versus PGA Tour. But I mean, it's not like professional golf versus YouTube golf. I think you just kind of touched on like everything should be additive. And like I've watched live, like it's not my cup of tea. Like I've watched it. Like I at least will educate myself before giving an opinion on it. I prefer the PGA Tour just because that's where, in my opinion, the best entertainment product is. But at the end of the day, everything needs to be additive. Like you said, like PGA Tour, Live, YouTube Golf, all need to lift up the game, because if you look since COVID, I mean, you can make the argument that Good maybe changed golf as a whole, because since COVID, I mean, the COVID boom has changed golf as a whole, and you guys, I think, are a huge part of that, at least in my opinion. Maybe I'm a little biased there, but I don't know.
I think
Just
we've
something
just
that,
helped. I think we've just helped like create a new category of golf. Like that. I mean, I think Rick Shields, obviously, Rick and Peter Finch have been around much longer than us, and I think that those guys definitely helped spearhead YouTube golf in a great way. And I think that us coming along really helped as well, like bring this whole different world of like craziness and entertainment into it. And I think that has like that has created a lot of this. And but for us, like the intention has never been take away from another part of golf. It's like how do we make golf better as a whole?
right? Yeah, and that, I feel like that's the end goal. One thing I want to talk about, because I forgot to follow up on the PGA Tour event, but we can talk about it just in general. Like, I feel like you guys do get a good amount of hate. I mean, that as with anyone in the comes success, I feel like the haters come out of the woodwork. Do you, for one, like, I assume you don't care because you guys are obviously successful, but I guess even the PGA Tour event or the crew neck, like that went viral. Like, how do you as a CEO like view the hate or deal with it internally? And I guess maybe just touch on that from the brand's perspective.
Uh, to be honest, like it doesn't affect me. I mean, I'm sure some people in the organization, I get it. Like, do you like seeing somebody come out and like say bad things about you? Absolutely not. Like, no one likes that. But like, it comes with the territory. Like, it doesn't matter who. Like, name one brand or one person. Like, there's haters of Mr. Beast, even though he's the biggest YouTuber in the world. Like, there's people that hate him, and he gets it all the time. And to be honest, it's just the way the internet is. Like, it's so people just love to get on the internet and write things because they're mad about something else probably in their life. I have no idea. Like, this just is what it is. But you can't get down about. Like, I think also like we know enough about who we are as a company, and like we know enough about the other great things that we have going on. Like, why am I worried about some person that is mad because we put good in a weird place on a t-shirt?
Right.
Okay.
The the anonymity helps, obviously, like keyboard warriors. I think, shout out DOT King for the term there, but like I feel like that's a very real thing. Like at the end of the day, like people just like, dude, I get hate comments, and like I don't do, like, I just talk. Like I literally look at this camera, make videos from like my house here, and people hate me. At the end of the day, it's, it is what it is. Like you said, you can't let it affect you, because as long as you guys know what you're doing and having success, it's just trolls, right? That's literally what it
Yeah.
is, anonymous trolls. Um, what's next for Good? I mean, you guys have done all this stuff. I don't know if you can touch on it. I keep that question pretty open ended, but like you guys have had so many announcements. Like what's next? Like, what do you guys have coming up in 2026? If you can share at least something on that.
Well, yeah. I mean, the funny thing is like everything we've announced is in 2026. So it's
Yeah,
like
exactly. Yeah, right.
we announced all this stuff, but we're going to do it all in 26. I think we still have an announcement coming on what we're actually going to do for the Desert Open, and we're actually getting pretty excited about that. That'll be a pretty cool announcement. So I would say people are going to want to get their tickets quick on that one once we announce it. Um, I like there's so much great stuff. Like the Good Girls just got started, so like seeing that just take off in 26 is going to be awesome. There's some other channels that we have not announced yet that we're going to have coming out in 26. We just revised the podcast, so that's getting that up and going. And then the big break's going to take up a lot of our time in from a filming perspective, and we're going to have a lot of content that's on our channel that's not just it's not everything's going to be just on Golf Channel. Obviously, the episodes will be, but I think you're going to see a lot of fun content from us from just that. And then everything that's going to go, we're going to try to really hard to like document everything that takes to like put on a PGA Tour event. And so seeing that process come together, there's still just going to be, stuff will pop up along the way. I definitely I'm not going to give anything up now, but I mean, we're not stopping. Now we're thinking, once we get into 26, like we got to start thinking about, well, what are we doing in 27? So that's where for the most part, like my mindset is going like, okay, we've got 26. Like, what are we doing in 27?
Yeah, for sure. And I have done a little bit of research. I am good at what I do. As far as YouTube channels that you guys are launching, I believe I found Good Mini Golf with no videos and some subscribers. I don't know if you want to announce that, but I did find that channel. Just doing some research. I'm like I said,
Yeah,
I'm I'm very good at what I do.
maybe it's
Um,
out there.
One okay, so that's everything I have from the good perspective. I know we've got some time here left. I want to touch on something because I did ask a couple of the guys for some questions, and I know you do obviously play a lot of golf. You're a stick. I mean, I think you played
You
with
asked
single
you asked the
digits.
good guys questions for me.
Yeah, a couple. Good, nothing crazy. Just Sean. I mean, it was
This
really just
this
Sean.
should be interesting.
No, you're not gonna. It's nothing crazy. The question I got was top. Like Sean said, you've played like a sicko's list of golf courses. So I need to hear your top 5 golf courses that you've played personally, or maybe like top 6, whatever. Like your favorite top 5 golf courses that you've played, because I've heard it's a sicko's list of golf courses.
Well, I will say that this year has been my best year of like checking the boxes on a lot of golf courses. And in fact, I'm going to go check one this next week. I'm going out to Cypress Point, so I have not played there
Nice.
yet. So that one gets knocked off the list. But if I were just to go through them, I keep a list of each year of what I've played. So let me see. I'll look at just this year. I'll tell you number one and number two. It has to be Pine Valley and
Nice.
uh, Roa County Down this year, and those two were unbelievable. Um, Muirfield Village is one of my favorite courses in the world. Luckily, I was lucky enough to join it, so I get to go play it now, which is great. Um, what else? This is a good question. I have a special like Winged Foot to me is one of the like great traditional golf courses. I've one of the greatest traditional golf courses I've played, both from like golf course in general, but then just hanging at the golf club. Like I think that's something that the golf courses are always the focus point, but like the hang at a golf course is extremely important to me. So Winged Foot goes way up on that list. Man, 5. That's tough.
There you go.
What have I given? I've given you
I think
4.
you've given me 5. 5 is good. We'll stop there. I
Okay.
mean, a subtle flex on the Muirfield membership. As being a Midwesterner, and Columbus is only a couple hours south of me, that is one of my favorite golf courses in the world. One, obviously has the history of being tied to Mr. Nicklaus, and I'm sure you've gotten to spend some time with him, which is super cool, especially being a member there now. But like, if you ever need a guest to play Muirfield, let me know. It's only a couple hours north of me. Would love,
Yeah.
because that is such a cool golf course. Like, it's like the Augusta of the Midwest, just how pristine and hard it
Yeah.
is.
It's
That
extremely
is
hard. I
awesome.
grew up loving that golf. I mean, I'm from Oklahoma, so the golf courses look a lot different where I'm from, but I grew up just loving that golf course for some reason, and then so getting a chance to go play it, I got to play the Pro-Am this year at the Memorial, which was with Noah Khan actually, which was fun. So we had a great time, and then just getting the chance to join, I was just like, I got to do it. Like this is like bucket list for me. So it's been really cool.
Oh yeah, for sure. Have you like shared? Have you spent any time with like Mr. Nicholas, or I guess have you? Could you share like any stories or like quick tidbits of like any time you got to spend with him behind the scenes?
Um, I will tell you that he surprised me. So we won. We were given the award of Play Yell Ambassador of the Year last year, and so I met him, like shook his hand, introduced myself to him for the first time during that, and then fast forward to the Memorial this year. I'm sure everyone saw the video of us doing that we did with Mr. Nicholas. It was on the Sunday before the Memorial started, and he came up to me and shook my hand and knew my name and remembered me. And I was like, how do you remember me from like one interaction, like very very quick interaction, and said hello? So like kudos to Mr. Nicholas. Like, I mean, I think what was pretty cool, like someone his stature, like all the people that he meets and all the hands he shakes, like the fact that he still remembered me from that moment was pretty cool. So and then we got to go sit down at lunch with him and hang out with him and listen to his stories for a few hours, which is just the best. So he was a great host to all of us that day. So he's been great.
That's every golfer stream, like professional golfer. Like obviously YouTube golf and professional golf like have a different audience, but like from someone who grew up like watching Muirfield, watching Tiger, like that's awesome. Like, and it was funny. I actually had Sharf on like I think the week after that aired, and like people call him Jack, which I like. I don't know if they knew, but like even like Scotty and like everyone calls him Mr. Nicklaus, but like Sharp and I think Steve was like Jack. I'm just like, oh, that's funny. I don't know if they actually knew what was going on there, but that did make me laugh.
Yeah. I call him Mr. Nicklaus.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, like I said, it is. I just found it funny. I
He doesn't
definitely
call me
give.
Mr. Kendrick though. I don't get the same treatment.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, my last question before I let you go is this is more of a personal question for me, but like something I found that you've said and that stuck with me. And you did an interview with Mr. Short Game earlier this year. Was you said that not everything has to be one to one, and I guess I think you kind of put it down like you can take something that is like free now that could be worth $1 in 2 years, or like $1 now that could be worth $20 in 2 years. And I much like that stuck with me a lot because relationships, in my opinion, are super important in this business. I have a pretty good relationship with you guys now, and I think that speaks volumes to just like work and stuff. But my question is like, do you have any like advice for people in the content game who are trying to make their name or grow their channels in this ever evolving world of YouTube golf from someone who's had so much success doing it on multiple occasions?
Yeah, I mean, I will say, I mean, I've never grown my own content. I've actually never even tried, but I will say, like, I've watched enough people around me do it. And I think the biggest thing is like, they're consistent and like, they understand like it takes time. And a lot of it is too, like, they never got started because they were going to make a ton of money. Like that's not what they thought. And so it has to be like a true passion, but that's also anything to me, that's anything in business. Like I've never had anything be super successful that I wasn't extremely passionate about. And so that's what I mean about like, I don't look at every interaction as like, I did something, so I should get something equal in return. I mean, there's been a lot of things I've done and invested my time into, and maybe into people that I never got anything out of, but I wasn't looking for that. Like, it's just, to me, it's just a step in the process of building something great. And like, having a short-term mindset is never going to get you anywhere. Like having a short-term mindset is going to get you to quitting faster than anything. That's the number one thing I've probably learned. And so, yeah, I think patience and then consistency is the number one thing. And that's in content, that's in business in general, like consistency and showing up and doing the same thing every single day, knowing that someday, hopefully it works out, but also you got to have the passion behind it.
Love that. Love that. Well, guys, that's it. Matt, thank you so much for jumping on the Scratch Golf Show today. Before we wrap, I'll just say I'll link the tickets for the live event for the Desert Open in the description. If you guys want to purchase those, check the description. Drop me a sub if you made it this far in the video. Thank you so much. But Matt, thank you so much for jumping on. Like I said beforehand, this was super cool interview for me. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So thank you so much for taking the time to come on the channel today. I guess any parting words, feel free before I let you go.
Oh, no, I buy tickets for the Desert Open. Come on out. It's going to be great.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. That's Good CEO, Matt Kendrick.